Hey, what's up, Indie Machines? Justin here with the inside scoop on how we did all those crazy special effects for the K.Flay We Hate Everyone music video. One of the big challenges to this shoot was syncing up all the footage that we shot from all the various GoPros. One thing that we did initially was we had someone with a clapboard who clapped for every single shot, and the idea was that we could use the program Pluralize. It would identify where the clap was, and it would put all the footage in the right order based on that one specific point, since all the 27 cameras were recording audio. One of the issues I ran into while editing was that a lot of times we would do the clap and then it would be a good 30 seconds, a minute before we'd actually get the shot done. So if I would have done this again, ideally we would do the clap right before we actually had the shot. I ended up trying to find a specific point, like when the bat would hit the glass. So I tried to find that same exact point in all the clips when I was capturing through the GoPro software, go back like 20 frames, and I'd have an almost exact point for the first frame of all the converted clips. Once I had the timing of all the different clips synced up, I still had to go in After Effects and manually change the height of all the different frames, manually change the size of all the different frames. Once all that was done, I still had to go in and color correct all the different ones, because the GoPro cameras, you can't set a specific aperture and shutter speed, and you can see it's definitely not perfect, but it's a lot better than we started off with. Once I was done with all that, I had an After Effects file where I could basically choose any point within the shot, make all of the different angles freeze frame, and freeze it right there. It was a really cool way of doing it. Gave me a lot of flexibility to choose exactly which moments I wanted to have become bullet time moments. A lot of you guys asked about the portal effects. Well, that wasn't me. That was the super talented special effects master Nick, who's also doing some great stuff for Cardboard Robots, who pulled that off. Here's Nick with some more info.
Hey, so I'm Nick. I did the crazy laser beam thingies that shoot out of the TV. So yeah, let's check it out. It looks really complicated. It looks like there's a lot going on. These clouds look all crazy. The light's flashing all over the place, but it's a really simple effect to do. So let me turn a bunch of layers off here so you can really see what's going on. Okay, so this is the base shot. This is the shot I got from Justin. You can see that there's actually still two layers turned on. This is duplicate of the same shot. The reason for that is that I know that I wanted the beam to look like it's a little bit behind the TV. So this second layer here is really the background, and the first layer is just the TV masked out. I masked out the antennas too, so they sat in front of the beam a little bit. Some of them have a little bit of a feathered edge, you can see right here. Some of them have a harsher edge, like the antenna and the TV, and that just sort of helps create a little bit more reality than you might otherwise get. Just sort of throwing a mask on and hoping it all works out. Let's start with the beam effect. It's really simple. It's literally these same particle settings duplicated over and over again for a couple layers to make it look a little bit thicker, with increasing the radius of the producer. So you can see for each one, it gets a little bit bigger, the particles get a little bit bigger, and it creates a sort of thick mass. What really helps sort of sells it being a mass is turning on the motion blur. But turn that off, it looks, you can sort of see the individual particles, you can see that's really not all that fancy. The motion blur really helps cover a lot of that up. Rather than just using the built-in particle shapes that are in CC Particle World, I'm using a really simple particle image here that I just created in Photoshop that I just drew a quick circle, did a bunch of motion blur to it, made sure there's an alpha channel so that it keys out nice and clean, and just set that to be the particle, and here we go. We get this nice thick mass. And here, this is just the same effect applied twice, is changing the screen mode. So the original mode here is screen, and the one on top of it is add, and that just helps brighten it up a little bit. It looks really subtle there. Putting that on makes a huge, huge, huge difference. So the next big part of the effect is the clouds. Much like the beam itself, it's just kind of the same effect, duplicated a couple times with changing the layer modes. It's still a totally 2D effect. This sort of shadow area here is created by just changing the layer mode. So that's set to multiply, it helps darken it up a little bit. The overlay here just helps saturate the color a little bit more. And to shape the clouds a little bit, which you can have a kind of a hard time doing in CC Particle World sometimes, is that I just used a mesh warp plugin, again, built-in After Effects plugin. And this sort of warps the clouds so they look a little bit more wispy, they sort of gather a bit more towards the base so it seems like there's gravity. And that is applied to just about all these layers. Right? So you can see the mesh warps there too. Turn all this on and you get these nice thick clouds that look like they're coming out of the base of the beam or the top of the TV. So the last part of the effect here is also the only time I use any plugins that do not come with After Effects. I'm using the Video Copilot Lens Flare plugin, and that really helps brighten it up, adds a nice glow to everything. So I took one of these presets here, made a simple custom preset, gave it a bit of a blue tint, laid it in front of and behind the cloud effect. So it helps add a little bit of brightness behind it, helps blend in that sort of blue lighting that Justin and Eric had put on the wall when they first shot it. And just the sort of overall glow helps give it this kind of energy look. The really nice setting is the flicker setting, and this is kind of what helps sell the effect, kind of maybe an inconsistent amount of energy coming out of it. So you can see as it plays through, the light flickers a little bit.
Thanks, Nick. I'd also like to give a huge thanks to Garrett Fallon, who did a bunch of the other effect shots in the music video, like the ones you're seeing right now. So once we had all the portal effects, once we had all the bullet time shots, then we did a lot of extra work past then just to clean it up. Here's an example of one of the shots. Very clearly you can see that's the puppeteer's baseball cap right there. And I went in with the roto brush, took a freeze frame in the background so I could clean it up perfectly, and voila, there you go. It's like magic. I used Mocha, which is an After Effects plugin, to track the TV and insert K.Flay into all those TV shots. So that's the rundown on a lot of our FX shots. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below. We really love every single comment. Even if you just watched it and you want to say you watched it, we appreciate your comments. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe right now. And of course, if you haven't seen our other behind the scenes stuff or the K.Flay music video, those are going to be easy clickable links floating all around my head here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Here's a bunch of digital cookies for you to munch on.